I feel like nowadays it's a trend to just hate on everything and just be negative in general. Like, for example, commentary channels. You know how every commentary channel out there is just kind of bashing anything that they see online, or in case make like a little mini documentaries of just anything remotely bad or just terribly bad, you know, stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, everyone has their distaste in life. Life is not perfect, you're not perfect. So obviously you're gonna have like bad experiences and stuff, and ultimately that will lead to stuff that you'll hate in the long run. Though I think people get mixed up between someone just criticizing something and someone just being negative. It's two different types of things, you feel me? So how can we see the difference? I don't know. It depends on who you ask. For example, I could just say out front that I don't think Drake is a good rapper and give good points while doing so, but that's not what this video is about. Now, on one hand, for the Drake meat riders out there, they're going to bash my video for me saying that. And on the other hand, you have other people that will say that I'm in the right because of my points. So it just really depends on who you ask. But in this video in particular, I'm going over some things I do not like, and I can assure you it'll be an unanimous decision that I am correct. All right, here we go. Number one, bikers who drive outside bike lanes. I want y'all to imagine this, right? Imagine you driving down the street, a leisure casual ride. Maybe you going to the store, maybe you going to your girl's house, whatever it may be. And as you're driving down the road, there's a biker on the side. Now, I don't hate bikers. Actually, I love them. Y'all cool to me. But in the road, there are two roads. There is a regular road for cars, and on the side, y'all get a bike lane. What I'm trying to understand is, why are y'all outside the bike lane? And you cannot make the argument that that bike lane is too small. The bike itself is more thin than Coy Leray. You cannot tell me that the bike lane itself is just too small for your liking. And I can understand if, okay, say there's like a rock in the bike lane, I can understand why you might like deviate outside of that. I totally get it. But if your entire ride consists of you just drawing outside the line, literally just driving on the road as is, what was the point? What are you trying to prove? I feel like they want to be a car, but they just can't be a car, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just don't make no sense to me. Just stay in the bike lane. It's your lane. You do not need to conquer my lane when I'm just driving along your side, all right? And before I hear some crayon muncher in the comment section telling me that, oh, what if I have a friend with me in the bike lane? Shouldn't they be able to be in the bike lane side by side with me on some Paul Walker, Dom Torero stuff? My brothers and sisters in Christ, look, I have a solution, right? You know, like when you're in elementary, right? And you have lunchtime, guess what y'all had to do to get lunch if you wanted school lunch, right? You go in a line, follow a line. You do not need to be side by side. And if something goes wrong, you're gonna crash into the other side of the person you're next to. And I get it, right? If someone's behind you and they were to fall or something, then yes, I guess you're probably screwed in a way if you're in the back. But that's why you don't go directly behind, you go like on the bottom left side. It is a simple fix. You cannot sit there and argue with me that you need the entire space of the bike lane for you to operate. If that is the case, you need to get licensed to use the bike. It shouldn't even be a free will for you. It should not be by choice. It should be by license. Number two, people who call for the manager when it's just not necessary. I work in retail, right? I'm doing YouTube part-time, and also I'm doing this job part-time, right? And sometimes people will walk into this retail store that I work at, and they will ask me, hey, can I do this? Or they'll ask for like a return or exchange, or they'll ask for some weird request, right? And I'll tell them I can't do it because I just can't do it. I'm trained to say I can't do it because I don't have the power to actually do that. So then they'll ask the manager if they can do that certain thing. And I just don't understand. People think like managers are like a free pass for something, as if they're gonna say something different compared to what I have already told you. So they ask the manager, hey, can I do this, and that? Your coworker here, or not coworker, my bad, the employee here told me that I cannot do this thing. And I wanna see if the manager will tell me the same exact thing, or maybe they'll give me some leniency and let me do it. They said they can't. And you get one or two people in that situation. Either one, you get someone that's very calm and reasonable. They'll say, oh, okay, all right, is what it is. Then they'll leave. The second person is the person that will sit there and still actively deny the fact that they just can't do whatever they want to do in the store, and that they'll keep asking higher ups until eventually they get a yes. You know what I'm saying? I totally get that mentality in life, you know, like never take no for an answer, but it doesn't apply to you going to the grocery store and asking for this type of stuff, because it just doesn't, it's not needed. Like, you can't do it. I don't know what else to tell you. So you'll sit there like just infinitely wondering when they'll leave, and they don't. And then I think at some point they threaten to call corporate, as if corporate is gonna tell us that we are in the wrong, we're probably gonna get fired, and that lady's in the right, she gets a full refund for everything she gets to do. It's just not working. To the people that do that, I sincerely hope one day that whenever you are just unable to do something and you know you can't do it because of like a certain reason, you're still gonna get pestered by that same person asking you to do it. Number 3, people who deny that vaping and smoking is bad. Now, I think we can all agree that vaping and smoking has become more prevalent with the newer generations, especially like in middle schools and high schools. It's kind of hard to deny that when I've just kind of seen it like everywhere. So it makes sense. But every time I've seen someone contest the idea to someone that vapes or smokes that it's bad for them, they will sit there and tell you one of two things. Either one, it's not as bad as it seems as long as you can ration it, and 2, they can quit whenever they want to. The reason why I don't believe the first one is because 1, you don't even know what's in the ingredients of vaping to begin with. It just, if you were to try to pronounce any of the ingredients, you will be sitting there trying to pronounce it, and by your 3rd try, you'd probably know how to say it full on well. That does not mean it's okay. The stuff in vaping is already bad as it is, and I don't need to go into a whole argument of why smoking's bad, especially if it's in moderation. Eventually, you can't hold it, and you're going to be stuck with that thing for 30 years. And before you tell me, oh, well, smoking's not that bad. Okay, great. Every time I've ever met someone that smokes, they always leave on saying this: don't smoke, it's bad for you. And I can imagine why. Now, can some people smoke in moderation? Yes. I cannot imagine it's healthy for you, nor can you prove to me it's healthy for you, as 1 in 5 people that smoke are dying. 480,000 people die every year to this smoking, and you're gonna sit there and tell me it's healthy for you in some way or in some fashion. And the second reason why I believe they can't quit is because you would have done it already. Why do you sit in there trying to prophesize it? You would have done it already, but you didn't. So I'm led to believe that you cannot beat your addiction. And yes, it's an addiction if you're gonna sit there and cope and say that it's not an addiction, that you can ever quit doing that stuff. Now, I believe at some point, if you were to get the help needed, I think you can. But it just doesn't look good for someone that uses those arguments that smoking and vaping is not bad for you. It clearly is. I don't need to sit there and try to prove to y'all that it is. You can search it up. Which leads into my 4th point right here. What are things I do not like? People who ask for proof and information on a comment section. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of misinformation out there, right? Whenever I'm looking at a YouTube comment section of a short that I'm watching, and they, where, the meme I'm talking about, where they'll say people who don't know, and then people who know with a little skull emoji, and then you'll have people down there. Either one, there's gonna be that one dude that knows the entire lore like it's FNAF, or you're gonna have someone that's gonna be spreading false information or just making a joke out of it, which the joke part I totally get it. I guess it's kind of funny until you do it like 60 times. And then when you click on the replies and they say proof, we've been God gifted with Google. I get it. You're a busy person. You're scrolling on YouTube Shorts for a lot longer than you're supposed to. I get it. You're totally busy doing that. You could just search it up. Do the research. Why are we just gonna sit here and try to ask this one guy, hey, do you think you can prove to me that your statement is true, when you could search it up? It is a factory app that is in your phone, that is built into your phone upon receiving that phone. Just search it up. I swear you'll get the answer. It's just that simple. I know it sounds like it's a life hack. Honestly, it's a DIY. I know, not for the faint heart or the lazy. And finally, the last thing that I hate: when I have a test and it is nothing like we practice in class. Now, I will tell y'all a story. I have been through the most crucial marine training, that is calculus. It is a nightmare to try to learn that stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's someone out there in the viewerships of mine that is able to comprehend calculus, like Dr. Manhattan from X-Men. But I am not that. I am an 18-year-old just sitting here existing throughout my day. I just can't do calculus. Okay, let me get this right. I can't do it well. I could do it decent, just not, Einstein level, But whoever is out there just slaying in calculus, I commend you. I hope one day you got to be successful in life. But that person's not me, at least not in the calculus remark. When I had to do calculus in community college, right? it was hard to learn. Now, don't get me wrong, my teacher was not the issue. She explained it very well in class. I actually understood it when we were in class. It's when she hands out the homework, it's just not translating. It's almost as if I was learning Spanish and then my homework is French or just pig Latin. I don't know what I'm doing. And over the course of the next couple months, I was going through the motions. You know, I was going through the 5 stages of grief, but when it comes to math. So eventually I passed with flying colors of a C+ in calculus, and man, I was just so happy to be free. It was like I was an Alcatraz prisoner, and I am finally able to swim away from that just godforsaken island, you feel me? So, to anyone that is in calculus, yo, there's light at the end of the tunnel, I swear. Alright, you guys will make it. And to those that will pursue even farther in calculus, may God be with you. That stuff is terrifying. I'd honestly rather play Resident Evil VR than do calculus. Anyway, I think that's all I have. To anyone that hates things, just know that it's all right. It's a part of life, you know. Not everyone's gonna like everything in life, and I think it's more so just great to make fun of the things that brings you trouble in life rather than making it a big deal in your mind. So, yeah. Anyway, I think that's all I have. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.